Hey everybody, it's Thursday. And you know what that means? That means that I'm on Twitter. And if you haven't found me on Twitter, at Katie Morton, hello, you can follow me. And I tweet out interesting, funny things and updates. And it's actually one of the easiest ways for me to communicate information to all of you because it's just like an alert system, I feel like. So I use it mainly for that. So if you're feeling like you're missing out on things, make sure you follow me. I have 4 questions today. So if you asked your questions using the hashtag KatieFAQ, or sent them to me at Katie Morton, I found them and I'm going to answer them. And I also have a journal topic today, so stay tuned for that. And as always, make sure you add me on Google+. I still have a couple of you who will make comments on my videos, and I can't comment back unless you've added me. I know it's annoying, and I know it's like an extra step, but then I can communicate with you. So when you leave your comments, I can comment back. So make sure you add me there and give this a +1, okay? Question number 1. New to meal plans, but just feels like another diet that I won't stick to. I'll end up binging and purging and I'll feel like crap again. Womp womp. First of all, that sounds like your eating disorder voice, very negative, and it's just not true. The interesting thing about meal plans, and if you have any questions about seeing a dietitian, I have a whole series on that with my girlfriend Kate that I used to work with at some eating disorder clinics that I worked at. She has some really good information in those videos. But meal plans are different from a diet because you're not sticking. There's not like, oh, you can't have this or you can't have that. There's always a way to work it into your meal plan. And a meal plan will change over time and it will adjust because if you're hungry and you find that meal plan's not enough, you let your dietitian know or your doctor know, and they'll add other things in or add things to your snacks or make your snacks bigger, your meals bigger, or whatever to cater to your hunger and fullness cues. And if you find yourself overly full, you let them know, and there'll be ways that they can bring things down for you. So it's not a set diet, and there's no no's in it. It's not like you can't have this or you can't have that. There's room for everything in a healthy, well-rounded diet. Trust me. If you haven't checked out that book, Intuitive Eating, it's a workbook. I love that book. It talks about eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full, and getting used to feeling that in your body, knowing what level of hunger and fullness you're at. So yeah, know that it's different. It's not a diet, okay? And just give it a try. I promise you'll be very surprised. Question number 2. How can I show I care without trying to fix them? Especially online where you can't give somebody silence. I feel uncaring if I don't try and help, but I hate when people try and solve everything when all I want to be is just listened to. It's just hard not to do that to others. I totally understand. It's a little trickier online because it's not like we have the personal space where you can kind of sit with each other and you can be quiet and, are you feeling okay? We can kind of check in. It's a slower process. We don't have that luxury. It's different. It's like we're on chat rooms or we're messaging and it's quick and it's only verbal, right? It's only through typing. We don't have that like physical way about it, like showing you care by, touching their arm or hugging them or letting them know you're there. There isn't as much of that. I think the one thing that all of us need to do to kind of let ourselves off the hook of having to solve everybody's problems and be there for everybody, because it seems really unmanageable, is telling people, well, I'm here if you need me. And knowing that that's at their discretion. If they want help, they can ask for it. If they just want to be listened to, I find the easiest thing as a therapist, because a lot of times that's what clients will want. I will simply mirror back what they're saying. So if someone comes to me and they're like, oh my gosh, my boyfriend broke up with me and this is just terrible. I thought he was the one. I thought we were going to get married, and they're going on and on. They're very tearful. They're crying. I will start out by saying something like, I'm so sorry. That has to really hurt. It'd be terrible to lose somebody like that. I'm so sorry. What have you been doing to take care of yourself? And I'm just mirroring back what they say. I'm just validating their feelings around what happened. And then I'm just testing to make sure they know that I'm supportive and I'm there. I'm offering little bits of tips and advice, but you don't always have to do that. You can just say, I'm so sorry that happened. You validate what's going on. And then you say, I'm here if you just need to talk. I'll listen. I know that kind of is hard, but as we practice it, I think it'll feel good to you because you won't feel like you're on the hook to solve everything, and it'll feel better to them because they may just want someone to listen and to validate. Oftentimes that's all we're looking for when we vent, is just to have someone say, I hear you, I understand where you're coming from, and that really sucks. Yeah. That's kind of all we want. So I would give it a try and see how it feels, okay? And if any of you have tips and things that you've found really helpful when you're dealing with friends and you realize that they don't want you to solve their problems, they just want you to listen, what are some things that you say? Let us know below, okay? Question number 3, what triggers a repressed memory? Is there a reason that it suddenly comes back? And this was a great question, because I know many of us have abuse past and things will trigger us and we'll dissociate or we'll have a flashback or something will happen. And there are many various reasons. Everybody's different. And if any of you have had this happen and you know what triggered it, you can let us know below, like always. But in my experience with my clients, I find that it's usually something triggers the memory, and it's usually something for a reason. Like it can be something that we didn't even notice at the time, like a smell, a sound, the feeling of something. Like depending on what happened to us and what was going on when that was happening, different things can trigger us. But I find it to be very 5 sense oriented. So something we smelled, something we tasted, something, we heard. We have all of those they'll trigger us and that memory will come back. Also, many of my clients have reported that in times of intense stress, when something gets really scary or stressful, that can bring it back again. But just be aware, take note, talk to your therapist about it. Just pay attention so that we can better avoid them, and then we can better prepare when we know we really can't avoid them, if that makes sense. Because stress is something that will come and go in our lives always, and finding better ways to manage it, other coping skills, will keep our stress level down so that these memories don't come flooding back at really inopportune times. Okay, I hope that helps. And if any of you, always share your experience, okay? If you have some helpful things that have worked for you. Question number 4. What do you do if you're bisexual and you know that some of your family members are against that and the LGBT community? It's really difficult. And many of you, if you haven't and you have questions about this, check out my videos I'm putting out with one of my friends, Rocio. And we talk about her process with coming out and being gay. And her family was not one that was very accepting of it initially. With my experience with her and other clients that I've had, I find that working on yourself first, talking to your therapist, coming to terms with what you believe is best for you, what feels right for you, and starting to practice with your therapist talking about it, because we have to kind of be prepared. People can respond really poorly, but this is this is your own personal thing, and this has nothing to do with anybody else. And I think the more we practice and the more assured we feel in ourselves and what we feel is best for us, the better it will go. I've had clients who've had bad experiences mainly because they didn't really know for sure themselves. And I know it sounds bad to say, oh, keep this from them for a while, but just make sure that you feel secure first and you're able to express what your feelings are and what you want them to know in a very, I guess, affirmative way. You want them to know that this is what's going on with you, this is how you are, and this is what's important to you, and these are the people that you love and care about, and that's all. It doesn't change who you are. It's just part of who you are and what makes you just so wonderful. So I would work on it with your therapist. I would start journaling. I would even practice in front of a mirror, talking it out, because by the time you go in to talk to a parent or a family member, I want to make sure you feel ready and you have all the tools to verbalize it and to be secure in it. And I find the more secure and straightforward and everything that we are with family and friends, the better they take it. So I would just start practicing. Make sure you feel good about it. Prepare for good and bad responses with your therapist, kind of walking through how you'll go through it and how you'll cope with it afterwards. And then go ahead with it, because you are who you are, right? And the people who, what's that quote? Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. So that's kind of what Rocio was saying in that video too. So trust me, it'll be okay. Okay? Now the journal topic today, because it's the winter time and it is very cold. Well, it's not that cold. I'm in California, but it is cold to us. I'm going to Montreal for Christmas, and it's really freaking cold there. So finish this sentence as long as you want, or do many sentences with this beginning. Sunshine makes me feel. I just love that. I don't know why that stood out. I have this book of journal topic ideas, and this is one of my favorites. So sunshine makes me feel. It makes me feel cozy and lazy. Yeah, and thirsty. So take some time, write those down, even draw. If you want to do another mandala like we talked about yesterday, make one of those. And please share. I've been loving all your creativity and seeing all your photos. So please shoot those to me either on Twitter or on Instagram. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow because it's Friday and I'll be on Facebook. Okay? See you then. Bye.